As tensions rise between Israel and Hezbollah, some U.S. military bases are raising their security threat levels. The U.S. European Command Headquarters has issued a Charlie security threat in Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, and Italy. Now, the Army's website says Charlie is when there's intelligence indicating that attacks against facilities or personnel is likely. Officials say threats have increased since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. The United States and Europe are urging Hezbollah to scale back their strikes from Lebanon into Israel to stop a widening Mideast war. Joining me now is retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. General, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. When we mentioned that Charlie alert, I know that definitely raises concerns for some who have military family abroad. We understand that Charlie Bravo Alpha, for the layperson out there, explain what that means and why that's important.
Nick, going to this level of Charlie is very rare. It means that there is specific, credible information that a threat is likely around one of those bases in those countries that you just shown. And like I said, it is very specific and credible in the intelligence that would cause us to go to Charlie, and there is reason for concern.
General Teichert, Israel has been fighting two fronts, right? We know this. One with Hamas in Gaza and the other to the north with Lebanon's Hezbollah. Now, Iran has stepped into this, and they've warned Israel of a, quote, obliterating war if it attacks Lebanon. How seriously should Israel and its allies be taking these threats, as the U.S. is an ally?
Nick, that Israel has been plagued by attacks from Hezbollah, very specifically for the last 9 months in the northern part of the country. So much so that about 80,000 Israelis have been semi-permanently displaced from their homes in northern Israel. And this is untenable. And Israel has been saying for a while now through the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, that it is inevitable that Israel must respond. And now we're on the verge of that type of response. And unless Hezbollah pulls back, or more specifically, Iran coaxes Hezbollah to pull back, then we are likely to see a war in the north.
Yeah, and the U.S. and Europe have called for Hezbollah to slow down its strikes against Israel. Will Hezbollah heed that warning?
It's going to be all up to whether Iran is convinced that Israel is serious about responding. And what the United States has said just in the last week is intended for Iranian ears. And unless Iran realizes that that wider war that would be sparked by such attacks from Israel into Hezbollah is not in their best interest and is likely, then it is likely that we're marching down this inevitable path of war in the north.
And General Teichert, the U.S. has been brokering a new hostage and ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. How will Israel's ongoing military operations in Gaza actually influence that deal?
Nick, it's very clear that the threat in the north is far more substantial for Israel than what has been going on in the south. Not that the last 9 months have been unnecessary. They've been very important to Israel. But the magnitude of capability that Hezbollah brings to the table that is arrayed in the northern part of Israel, or specifically against the northern part of Israel, is so significant that if indeed Israel makes the decision that they're likely on the verge of making to attack, then that would put a dimming effect on any of the things we've seen in the last 9 months because of the significance of capabilities on both sides there in northern Israel and southern Lebanon.
General Teichert, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.